Recently, the famous author Stephen King announced that he is deleting his Facebook account. He is leaving the Facebook platform over concerns about political advertising on Facebook. For those of you that are not familiar with who Stephen King is, I'm sure most of you know who he is, but he is a famous novelist. He's sold something like 350 million books in his lifetime. Some of his real classics include things like The Stand, It, the Dark Tower series. Stephen made a big splash a couple of days ago by announcing that he was getting off of Facebook over the political advertising on Facebook, and he did this through a tweet. I will try to quote his tweet in the video here, but I will paraphrase a little bit of what he announced over on Twitter. He basically said he's quitting Facebook and he's tired of all the false information in the political advertising that is done on Facebook. And for those of you that still want to follow Stephen King on social media, that you can still follow him over on Twitter. So that's great that Stephen is getting off of Facebook, but my first reaction to his tweet where he says, "I'm getting off of Facebook, follow me over on Twitter," my first reaction is, hey Stephen, we really need to talk about Twitter as well, but we'll table that discussion. At least he's off Facebook. His Facebook account has already been deleted. So let's talk a little bit about what prompted this decision by Stephen King. First of all, Stephen is very much a political activist. He is very outspoken in his political views on social media, especially his views regarding the current U.S. president, Donald Trump. But what really got Stephen so upset, about 3-4 weeks ago, Facebook made an announcement that they have no plans of banning political advertising on the platform, and they do not want to make any effort to ensure that political advertising on the platform is actually true. So if somebody lies in a political ad, Facebook really doesn't care. They are not going to go to the trouble of trying to police political advertising on their platform. So as you can imagine, Facebook has faced a lot of scrutiny over this decision, both to run political ads on their platform, but also stating that they really don't care if the ads are true or false. And what's really even more disturbing than that is Facebook, they serve these political ads, but they target specific users on the platform. Sometimes they focus on small user groups. And there are a lot of critics of this highly targeted political advertising, including internally at Facebook. Some of the Facebook employees have expressed concerns over this kind of targeted political advertising, because these kinds of ads, they really can do damage to the political discourse. They actually can undermine the political discourse, because if you're targeting these ads to some users but not others, then there is an increasing chance that these ads will never be seen by those that maybe have criticism of that ad, or maybe the press never sees some of these advertisements. Maybe the rival campaigns never see some of these political advertisements. So it really does raise some questions about the transparency and the context of message when it comes to the political ads on the Facebook platform. So Stephen King, he's deleted his Facebook account. He still has a Twitter account, but to be fair, Twitter back in October did thankfully announced that they would not be serving any political ads on their platform. Now, most of you guys know I deleted my Facebook account about 2 years ago, and that was back when Zuckerberg was forced to appear in front of Congress to answer questions about the scandals back then. Just a reminder of what those scandals were. About 80 million users had their information compromised, and Zuckerberg had to appear in front of Congress, and they really grilled him, and they eventually slapped a $5 billion fine on Zuckerberg and Facebook. And that was it for me. I immediately stopped using Facebook, deleted my account, and I have never been on Facebook since then. I don't use Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or anything owned by Zuckerberg and his criminal organization. You guys know that I'm over on Mastodon now, and Mastodon is fantastic. It's free and open source software. It's a federated social network, and it's decentralized. And Mastodon is really growing in popularity. I see more and more users on it every week. More and more people are getting off of Facebook and Twitter and moving to Mastodon because of those sites, Facebook and Twitter, censoring people, sometimes censoring people over their political beliefs or social status. Because Mastodon is federated, there isn't just one central server, not one person controls Mastodon. You can be on a Mastodon instance that really reflects your views, your political views, your religious beliefs, whatever. If you find yourself on a instance of Mastodon that you find doesn't mesh with you, you can always just find a new Mastodon instance to go and sign up at. It's a completely different kind of social network than the likes of something like Facebook and Twitter, which there's only one Facebook, there's only one Twitter. You either abide by their rules or you have to get off the platform. Mastodon, anybody can set up a Mastodon server. Anyway, I think Stephen King getting off of Facebook is a great decision. I love when a celebrity does something like this, makes a stand, because, he's got so many followers. People will take notice. People will listen. They may choose to follow him, follow him in leaving Facebook. Now, you guys know my advice. My advice, of course, is get the hell off of Facebook, right? Delete your Facebook. Or don't delete your Facebook. I mean, ultimately, it's your decision, but I want you guys that are still on sites like Facebook and Twitter, think about this. Are you happy when you're on Facebook? Are you happier when you're on Facebook or when you're off of Facebook? Do you find yourself complaining more about Facebook than, talking good about Facebook? I mean, you really have to weigh the pros and cons, and if the cons outweigh the pros, get off that platform, remove that negativity from your life. But deleting your Facebook account ultimately doesn't really solve the problem. It solves it for you personally, of course, but this issue is much deeper than just you personally. What about those other Facebook users that either won't make the right decision and get off the platform, or maybe they can't make that decision to get off the platform? We need legislation to stop these companies from taking advantage of us, the user, from compromising our data, selling our data, violating our right to privacy, using their enormous user base to affect political elections and push political agendas. I mean, ultimately, boycotting Facebook solves nothing, right? Even if we convinced everybody that's currently on Facebook to get off of it and the company died, well, what's to stop the next company from exploding in popularity and doing the same dirty, unethical tactics that Facebook is currently doing? Nothing's stopping them. Ultimately, I think what we need to start doing is contacting our senators and our congressmen about these sorts of issues. And we really need to support financially those organizations that are out there fighting for our digital rights and our digital privacy. So if you're not supporting organizations like the Free Software Foundation or the Electronic Frontier Foundation, please consider doing so. I'd like to take a second to thank the patrons of the channel. These names you're seeing on the screen. Without these guys, this channel wouldn't be possible, and this show you just watched would not have been possible. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider doing so. You'll find me at DistroTube over on Patreon. All right, guys. Peace.